What you doing? That's Taylor Swift's listening to the Approaching the Natural podcast right now. That's so cute. There is no emoji to express how happy that makes me. So that's letterpress. That's a thing I learned about 15 years ago when I was still living in Los Angeles and my wife and I wanted to get the hell out of there. People keep finding us and they order something and we can't afford to turn it down. Essentially what's happening, but it's not at all what I want to be doing on my weekends. So I want to talk about making moments for yourself, stealing moments, making time when for most of us, we're super busy. We have a lot going on. How do we figure out how to live healthier and happier in the context of being super busy? A lot of us have more than one job. I do. I got a family. I got a bunch of stuff to do. How do we crack that nut? Hey, doll.
Hi.
What's going on there?
Why am I ending up on this?
She loves me. Watch. Who's your good dog? Who's your schmooper? Come here. Come on. Who's your good schmooper? Who's your good? Come on. Come. And most people I work with are busy. We got families, jobs, just a ton of stuff, responsibilities and everything else. A lot of people say, I just don't have the free time for that. The small steppers way is to understand that we actually do have free time. We do. We just might think free time has to look like this. It has to be 30 minutes. It has to be an hour. That may not be possible for most of us. It's not possible for me. So this weekend, my weekend, guess what? A letterpress job comes up. I'm spending hours on my weekend. The days leading up, I'm in misery. I'm like, man, I just want a weekend. I just want a weekend off, and I'm just dreading it. Turns out two things. One, it wasn't that bad, and two, didn't take as much time as I thought. Three, I have free time. I'm shooting this video. There actually is free time. You just gotta know where to find it. And it means that you don't have to give up Twitter and Facebook, but what if you just carve 5 minutes out of that? The kind of free time I'm talking about isn't, vacation time, reading a book for 4 hours kind of free time. What I'm talking about with you guys and with clients and on my podcast is carving moments of free time to ask the questions like this. How do I want to live my life? Am I happy? What do I want to do with my life? What are the other things I want to be doing? These are the questions we never have time to ask, or we think we don't have time to ask, but we do. That's a full-size hoop. That is not short. That is full-size. Can I build in little moments where I fix things, where I do things that make me happy, where I take moments for myself because I've got a family and I've got a job and I've got all these things, but can I take 2 minutes to write down in a journal how I want to live my life? Distraction saves us from asking the very questions that if we asked would make our lives better. That's a problem for most of us in the modern world that want to live better, want to be as healthy as we can, but we don't want to ask the questions. That right there, that's called an Optigon. It's from the 1970s. It was made by Mattel. Is that the coolest thing ever? Look at that thing. Sometimes just taking the effort to live happier and healthier, stuff comes up. Especially things like admitting that you don't feel as good as you want to feel, that you don't look as good as you want to look, that you're not as happy as you thought you were. The moments I'm talking about ease your way in just to even admitting those kinds of things. If you just steal some of the time away from the distractions of social media, away from the distractions of entertainment, which are great and we need those, and I do them too, but if we just carve little moments away, we can use that time to get a little more clear about how we actually want to live our lives. That's what I'm talking about.
Reno's not in her room at all.
Go check down on Onion Papa's. If we don't ask the questions of how we want to live our lives, if we don't ask the questions of who we want to be, then how the heck are we supposed to know what to work toward? How are we going to know where to go?